We are now continuing on to the next section of Other People's Money and How the Bankers Use It by Louis D. Brandeis, reading 5 lines up from the bottom of page 122. The St. Paul Experiment. St. Paul wisely introduced into its experiment a more democratic feature, which Tom L. Johnson, Cleveland's great mayor, thought out but did not utilize, and which his friend W.B. Culver, now editor-in-chief of the Daily News, brought to the attention of the St. Paul officials. Mayor Johnson had recognized the importance of reaching the small savings of the people, and concluded that it was necessary not only to issue the bonds in very small denominations, but also to make them redeemable at par. He sought to combine practically bond investment with the savings bank privilege. The fact that municipal bonds are issuable ordinarily only in large denominations, say $1,000, presented an obstacle to be overcome. Mayor Johnson's plan was to have the sinking fund commissioners take large blocks of the bonds, issue against them certificates in denominations of $10, and have the commissioners agree, under their power to purchase securities, to buy the certificates back at par and interest. Savings bank experience, he insisted, showed that the redemption feature would not prove an embarrassment, as the percentage of those wishing to withdraw their money is small, and deposits are nearly always far in excess of withdrawals. The St. Paul Sinking Fund Commissioners and City Attorney O'Neill approved the Johnson plan, and in the face of high money rates, sold on a 4% basis during July certificates to the net amount of $502,300, during August $147,000, and during September over $150,000, the average net sales being about $5,700 a day. Mr. Culver, reporting on the St. Paul experience, said, quote, "There have been about 2,000 individual purchasers, making the average deposit about $350 or $360. There have been no certificates sold to banks. During the first month, the deposits averaged considerably higher, and for this reason. In very many cases, people who had savings which represented the accumulation of considerable time withdrew their money from the postal savings banks, from the regular banks, from various hiding places, and deposited them with the city. Now these same people are coming once or twice a month and making deposits of $10 or $20, so that the average of the individual deposit has fallen very rapidly during September, and every indication is that the number of small deposits will continue to increase and the relatively large deposits become less frequent as time goes on. As a matter of fact, these certificate deposits are stable, far more than the deposits and investments of richer people who watch for advantageous reinvestments and who shift their money about rather freely. The man with $300 or $400 savings will suffer almost anything before he will disturb that fund. We believe that the deposits every day here, day in and day out, will continue to take care of all the withdrawals and still leave a net gain for the day. That net figure at present being about $5,700 a day." End quote. Many cities are now prevented from selling bonds direct to the small investors through laws which compel bonds to be issued in large denominations or which require the issue to be offered to the highest bidder. These legislative limitations should be promptly removed. Ending about 2/3 of the way down on page 125. It is 2:27 p.m. on March 12, 2021.